Yeah.
Good afternoon, Jolie.
Hi, Rosemary. Good to see you.
It's great to see you. I'd like to welcome you. I've decided to interview people that I work with and that I admire. And Jolie Roy, you are an amazing coach, certified life coach, Reiki 2 practitioner, and a wonderful resource located in Chicago, Illinois. And I'm Rosemary DeTrolio, owner of Hands of Light by Rosemary, located in New Jersey. And I was lucky enough to pass ways with Jolie and befriend her on Alignable. And we've done some business together. And I'm so thrilled that you're deciding to be interviewed today. So welcome. So I wanted you to tell a few things about your business, like how long you've been in business and a little bit about like your main goal for when you work with people.
Okay.
So what can you tell me about that?
Well, I've actually been a life coach since May of 2021, but I was a coach in the corporate world before that for about 7 years. So I coached software teams, and it was a nice transition over to becoming a life coach. And yeah, so I got certified as a life coach, and I've also been tuned for Reiki 2 since 2000. So it's a long time. So I incorporate Reiki into my life coaching business.
Wonderful. So what kind of people usually seek you out, Jolie?
Well, I've had corporate people seek me out because I've got a corporate background. I've also had couples seek me out and ask for, what they can do for relationships. That's kind of a new thing right now, but I've also had people who are dealing with trauma. People who are just like, I don't feel good about myself. I want to feel better. I want to lose some weight. I want to get this job. I want to just become a better person. So it's a little bit general, but we usually focus on one specific thing that they want to change. And we do that within a 3-month period, and it usually works well.
Okay, and you work on Zoom and in person or simply on Zoom right now with your clients?
Yeah, so Zoom has been the one thing that I've used, and we just moved into a new house. So I have the room now to work with clients if they want to come to Chicago, to the Dunning area. So if you want to be specific about where I live nearby, and I have an area in my house that I can either do coaching or Reiki at the same time.
Wonderful. So if you were to say ideal clients, do you have one that you say would be like your ideal person that comes to you, or it would just be, what would you say about your ideal client?
My ideal client is someone who wants to change something within themselves, but they don't know how. So, like I said, it's a little bit general, but my niche is someone who wants to change something within themselves because they know they can do better in life or get their heart's desire. So when you work towards your heart's desire, using somebody like me, coaching you along and getting those small goals in place, they usually are successful getting closer to what they want.
Wonderful. Do you have any particular story about a client that you've helped to transform that you can pull up?
Yeah, so a gentleman that I actually used to work with 20 years ago contacted me. I was out on Facebook and he said, hey, I want to explore this. So he was living in Dallas or Houston at the time, and his family was up here near Chicago. And he said, I've gotten fat, which he kind of did. He says, I've gotten fat. I want to lose weight. My marriage is in trouble. I want to have a better relationship with my kids. So I said, great. It was nice to connect with him again. But in those 3 months, what we did is to find out exactly what he wanted to work on. And it was basically self-care and self-compassion for himself. And so we started with his health because that was the first thing, but then it kind of morphed into getting another job, and his relationship with his wife got better, and he moved back to Chicago. He was there temporarily. He was on assignment, and he moved back to Chicago, and he said, I'm actually spending more time with my kids. I'm working from home now, so I can actually communicate with my wife better, and things have gotten a lot better than they used to be. Because
that's wonderful.
Yeah, he was almost at the point where he thought his wife might leave him.
Yeah. Sometimes I guess it takes a trauma or a situation where it's very disastrous before someone will seek out help. which is tough, but at least people will seek you out and know that there's options for them and that a lot of it is in their control once they accept it. So I know that when you go to your site and that you usually have like questions you ask your clients or some sort of free checkup, or isn't that true? Like to clarify what they need before they actually meet with you?
Right. So what I call it is a transformational discovery session. And it goes from, it depends on the person. So anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, we sit down and we get to know each other a little bit. And I ask pointed questions about what they want. So one of the questions could be, what is it that you want if you could wave a magic wand and get anything in the world? And they have to really think about this. And then I ask them a couple of questions like, what is in your way right now? What do you think is in your way? And so that might be something that they think is in their way, but as we get into, if they decide to sign with me, as we get into the program itself, they find that it may not be the thing they think is in front of them that they can't move.
I'm sure that's awesome. And I've seen the same with my clients. It's like, oftentimes your perception can change a lot of different things. And as you shift your perception, what you need might change. So that's really interesting.
Right.
What led you to the path? I know you said you were in business before. How did you kind of decide that this would be like the next step for you?
Well, back in 2019, before the pandemic, I lost my job, and it was the last job I had in the corporate world. And I absolutely loved what I was doing, and that was coaching software teams. And we had moved to Florida, and I was kind of at a loss as to what to do because I didn't want to go back into the corporate world. So I started thinking about what I was really good at. And I'm really good at coaching. I'm really good at meeting people and connecting with people. So I started looking around for like health coaching or something, and I found a life and health coach certification, both certification in life and health coaching. And I thought, well, this is probably the first one that I found that actually takes you through a 6-month, it was a really nice 6-month program. And I had practice clients, and I'm still friends with some of the coaches that I was in the cohort with. And I felt when I graduated and got my certification, I felt this was exactly what I wanted to do.
Wonderful.
And that's, so I've been certified since May of 2021.
Wonderful. If you find someone that has a particular need, let's say for an add-on service, let's say they need another counseling service that's more intensive or different than what you offer, do you usually direct them or guide them toward other resources as needed?
Yeah, so some of my coaching clients may need therapy along with coaching because, I studied psychology in college. So I got a degree in psych. I thought I wanted to be a therapist at one time, but I like the fact that I can help them meet small, short-term goals. Right. But then if there's something that, post-traumatic stress syndrome, I don't work with people that have PTSD. So I would refer them to a therapist who does, or to a coach who does.
Yes.
So I wouldn't take something on that I know that is not in my field.
Very good. And that's a very wise thing to do too, to have these other things at your disposal. Yeah. So is there a way that clients can reach you? Like, what is your website and the quickest way that they could, set up a discovery session with you or get to know more about what you do?
Right. So my website is www.jolieroycoaching.com. And on the website is my services. There's a button to click to set up, to contact me. They can set up a time on Calendly because that's connected in my website also. They can also reach me by email at jolieroycoaching@gmail.com. So either one of those, my schedule is on Calendly if they want to go through my website.
Wonderful. So any last words of advice or things that you want to share about your business that I haven't asked you?
Well, I'm really good at what I do.
I know.
And I love working with people. I think it's the most satisfying thing I've ever done in my life. And I have a couple of clients that I'm actually still talking to. So I just think that this is the most wonderful thing that we can do for people, is to help them overcome obstacles and get rid of things that no longer serve them, like bad energy or blocks that they feel that are in their way.
Wonderful. I know at one time you did an activity where you had women come in and like in a small group and you worked with them. Do you still offer that service, or will
Yes.
you in the future, in the near future again?
Yeah, so I can work with groups and I can work with individuals. So the groups I haven't done as much with as I have with individuals, but it's something that I think is important if we have a group of people, and I try to do at least 4 to 6 people, because I think any more than that is too many. So, you know, with that group, I can do at least 1 or 2 individual sessions with each one of those people during that time period that I have.
Wonderful. That's terrific, Jolie. I'm so happy that that you're out there and you're offering this great service for people. So I thank you very much for your time today.
You're welcome.
Yes, I'm going to put this on pause.